Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to Right to Left, the show where we let loose our inner otaku and talk about all that is the world of manga and anime. I'm your host, Matt, and with me, as always, is my partner in crime, Steve.
Hello.
Steve?
Yes.
I just had a couple of revelations before I get into what we're going to talk about.
Just now?
Well, one of them was a while ago. The other one was actually literally just now.
Oh, okay.
Is otaku a word that we still use in 2018?
I don't know.
Like, is that still a word?
I think I recently saw something online that said something like
No one uses that word anymore.
Term otaku, like no one actually uses it anymore. But
all right.
But then again, like I think it's only used.
Congratulations, everyone! I'm old.
I think it's only used by
old people like
very
me.
very closed off certain groups.
Oh, okay.
And anime fans.
So we don't fall into that category.
Yeah, I feel like if you call yourself an otaku, like. Did I say otaku? I feel like if you call yourself an otaku, it's kind of like being called an elitist in the gaming world, almost.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
I could see that. Well, anyway, the second thing I had was I'm noticing some incredible parallels between Right to Left and the actual anime and manga world.
Okay.
Because if you know, we're currently on episode 3.
Yes, we are.
And it has been a very long time coming.
5 months.
And this gap between episode 1 and 2 has been a very long time coming.
5 months.
And if you know the world of anime and manga very well, I got a question.
5 months.
I got a question for you, Steve.
Sure.
You like Seven Deadly Sins, right?
Oh, dude, don't talk about
How long have you been waiting on season 2?
It feels like 10 years. It feels like forever.
I feel...
That's really funny you bring that up. I was just talking about that today with one of my friends. I was scrolling through Netflix and I was like, Seven Deadly Sins. When are they going to come? I thought, wasn't season 2 out? No, it's not.
It's
never. I mean, I've already watched it subbed.
Yeah.
But I like the dub.
It's not dubbed
I actually
yet.
like the dub.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for the dub.
But it's not. It hasn't been
like
dubbed
10
yet.
years.
But it's there. It's ready to go.
It feels like 10 years.
Well, we have some parallels. So episode 4 will be 5 months from now, guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, what are we talking about today?
What are we talking about today?
Yeah.
We are talking about we are going to put out our list.
Disclaimer.
Ours specifically. List of should we say our most hated villains and most loved protagonists, main characters.
Okay.
So most hated villains and our favorite main characters.
So we're gonna do like main characters specifically, and not like hero types.
Yeah, I would say just main characters.
Okay, I'm down with that. So we'll do the best evil villains, the ones who are best at doing what they do,
Being a villain.
and then just the most loved protagonists that are so lovable, so goofy, such a good guy, saving the world, eating lots of ramen, other anime tropes. I like it.
So should we start with? Let's say we should just start with.
Well, let's end on a light note. Let's start with the bad guys.
Okay. So, I watched a lot of Yu Yu Hakusho when that. When that show came out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've watched. Actually, they had aired it on Twitch. Twitch always on.
I initially saw it on Toonami, and I was just like, "Well, I'm watching this every night."
Yeah, and it was really, really good.
Oh, it was so good.
Sensui frustrates me to no end for so many reasons, and I wrote some of them down because
wow, that sounds really frustrating because you wrote them down.
I reason why too. I thought it was kind of interesting that we're doing this episode because I had just watched it and I was like, I hate this. I hate this about him. I hate this. I hate this as well. And then when we were talking about
you are the most awful person that's ever existed.
And then we were talking about doing this episode, and I was like, well, I just watched that, so I'm going to write down the things I hate. So, first off,
we have a list.
How are you, the protector of humans, essentially? Mm-hmm. Like, for how long?
The protector of both for ever.
Ever. And then just decide, oh, humans are worse than demons now because humans have problems. So now I have a split personality and I'm out of my freaking mind.
I am okay.
Like his twist. Wow. His twist. Wow.
I'm so mad that I'm going to knock my microphone over. God, I hate him.
His twist from he has a split personality. And he's out of his mind. Yeah. It's just like, why? It's always just like
I'm gonna make the argument that it's a relatively classic literary technique for a character who is so obsessively set in his this is my definition of justice. This is my definition of what is right and what is wrong. There is no gray area. That when they do see something that differs from what they truly have believed for so long, that they crack. It's a normal literary technique. You see it in a few characters other than him, but it does not make the character any less or any more likable. No, you
definitely not a likable character.
You have literally taken a character who is supposed to be just and good and right, not necessarily. You could have a character who is beyond evil, but they're not. It's not Joker evil. They have laws. They have what they have fit into their mindset, and they have lived their mindset on a line. There's nothing but that.
Right.
And then you show them something that completely turns everything they have thought was right in the world on its end.
Yeah.
And they crack.
Oh, and he cracked.
And that's what happened.
Humpty Dumpty fell off that wall. Humpty Dumpty was in his head.
You know what's... I'm going to go slight segue here. Never once do they actually say Humpty Dumpty's an egg.
I know.
That's some creepy stuff. That's just a dude. That's a dude who just fell off and...
Yeah, and everyone just assumed it was an egg.
And then let's take for an instant that he's not an egg. Let's a dude hits the ground, splat. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't. That means they tried. They tried to put it back together. That's some creepy stuff right there.
Yeah. I never actually thought about that, but yeah, it's kind of creepy now that you say something.
Anyway,
but yeah, so he knows more about humanity than humanity does itself.
Well, he's seen them at their best and at their worst.
Yeah, exactly.
And seeing them at their worst is what cracked him, because he always believed them to be at their best.
Yeah, but there's two sides, Demons.
There always are.
Demons have always been bad. There is no good side, really, to demons, and he's always only ever seen bad. You've seen a good side to humans. Humans have a good side.
Yes.
But you just decided to see the bad in them and lose your freaking cuckoo banana sandwich on everybody and lose your mind. And every time we see you, you're having that weird split personality. Shut up.
And again, that's just one more aspect of having lived your life to there is no gray area. There is only black and white. And when he snapped and he realized humanity is not that shining, wonderful golden child that he thought it was, there was only one solution. The same. If humanity is doing the exact same thing that demons are doing, and in my mind, all demons deserve nothing but extermination, then clearly humanity deserves nothing but extermination. That's what I'm seeing here.
Right.
Time to kill them all.
That's why he was frustrating. That's why he's on my list. Because he just let such a small thing completely ruin his...
it wasn't... That whole festival wasn't exactly small.
No, I'm not saying that it was But it's just that was the reason why he lost his mind, though, because he saw the bad.
Because he has no gray area.
Yeah. That's why it's frustrating.
And I can see that. I respect that. I personally am not so much frustrated by it because I see it as a literary technique.
Oh, I'm frustrated by it.
But he is a very well done villain. I don't like him. I do want to see him defeated because he's, in my mind, doing something wrong. Because I do see gray areas. I have a moral compass that points more towards light, obviously. But I understand. I can watch Batman and see, oh yeah, I see why he's doing that.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily a good thing to do.
But I see why.
But I understand why he's doing it, because in the long run, something good is going to come of it.
Yeah.
But when you can't see that, you end up
going bananas.
Cuckoo.
Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall.
Yeah.
Crack your
Like
head.
Dr. Phil would need to get your dad in here because that's obviously the issue.
Oh my god. Yeah.
That'd make a good fight scene.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't.
Well,
Because this would be like, rah, rah, and he'd be like, listen here.
the set would be destroyed and Dr. Phil would be dead, but it would be a really cool fight scene.
Yes. So that's why he made the list from Red Bull. Why I would say that he's on in this episode, because watching it recently just made me go,
No, I'm with you.
really, dude?
I'm with you.
Like, really? Go away. Go away. Like,
I'm not even
be upset, go cry in the corner. Go away.
I'm not even upset. Like, it's not even go away for me. It's more just like I'm screaming at the TV going, open your eyes and think about it rationally for 1 second. Just one. If you even think about it rationally, you'll realize, oh, you know what? I might be doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I think what I'm doing is exactly what demons are doing and what I saw humans doing. So I deserve extermination. Well, okay, time to go kill myself.
Yeah.
But we don't.
Stupid.
Yeah. But crazies don't ever think they're crazy. And that's the other dangerous side of crazies.
The other thing, too, is it's like, just because he's crazy doesn't mean that he's a good villain. That's all I'm saying.
No.
Either. He's a good villain because he's... there's a very fine distinction between crazy and out of your mind.
Yeah.
And he's nuts. Like,
That's neither of those.
Yeah.
Nuts is neither of those.
So
you need to clarify. He's out of his mind.
He's out of his mind.
He's like just beyond gone.
And that's why. And he causes a lot of grief and frustration in that show. But then after that is a villain that's like, I would say is like really controversial for me.
Okay.
Because of the reason why. See, okay, because I put this one in the same category as like Sensui. Because something had happened in order to put them where they were at.
Well, I mean,
in the mindset that they were at.
Most villains do.
Well, no, yeah. But this is like, ugh. But anyway, the Vicious from Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
So
I see it.
It's amazing to me that he was friends with Spike during the Red Dragon Syndicate.
Yeah.
And then that freaking, what was the name of that girl? The girl, I can't remember her name. She gets murked or whatever, and then they become sworn enemies.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The blonde-haired chick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they become sworn enemies. What?
I mean,
Really? You guys got all pissed off at each other over a girl?
girls come between dudes all the time.
Oh my gosh! Like it's
Oh boy.
it's frustrating to me. But and he's a badass.
He is.
He's a badass.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's a badass.
Oh,
Like,
I know.
he's just like
He does not hesitate
his
to murk some
sword.
fools.
Like his sword play is insane. Like he gets in on Spike every time, and he is not pulling any punches ever.
Well, no,
that's one thing I
sworn
like
enemies.
about him so much is he's very he's quick to get the job done. He wants to get the job done as quickly as possible.
That's one of the things I do like about some villains. There are always those villains out there that they'll be beating the good guy, maybe even have the good guy beat, and it's like, you're weak.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Come back and try again. No,
It's not like that.
This is the good guy. I win.
Yeah,
Try again next life.
yeah, exactly.
Hope your next of kin who come to avenge you are better.
You're right.
Sorry.
Yeah, and he has a creepy bird, a vulture thing.
Okay. You don't have to say creepy. Any bad guy with a bird
It's a creepy.
is automatically just creepy.
Yeah,
Like any bad
and that
guy
thing
who
is
has a
really
bird.
creepy looking.
Oh, I know. Any bad guy who has a bird is just creepy.
Fair enough. You think I would have a bird if I was a bad guy?
I don't know.
Given the fact that I have birds.
You have a bird, you
have two
like
birds.
birds, and you could pull off
have
creepy.
multiple birds.
But at the same time, if you were a bad guy, I kind of feel like you'd be like a martial artist, just literally just get in there messing dudes up.
I'm cool with that.
And a martial artist isn't the kind of guy who'd have a creepy bird. Like the creepy bird guy is the kind of guy who kind of stands back.
And lets the bird do all the work.
Or at least just has the bird there, and then after a monologue, throws off the cloak and the bird, and you don't see the bird for the rest of the fight, and then just start murking dudes. Maybe that. I could see that.
Okay. I like birds. I like burbs. Burbies. So, yeah, that's why he's on the list, because he's... And, you know, also, because Cowboy Bebop is such a good anime.
Oh, Cowboy Bebop is fantastic.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for, more, but we'll never get it.
I'm apprehensive because with what they do to anime and manga nowadays, I don't want them to make more. What if they make it more? What if they break it? What if they break it? It's good. They have gold. What if they just go whoops? And now it's covered in poo.
I'm still waiting on more Trigun. I'm still waiting on more Outlaw Star. Just saying.
Whoops! It's covered in poo.
No, Badlands Rumble was good. The movie that they came up for Trigun. It was good. You didn't like it?
I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm just saying, I mean...
It was good.
But if they keep pushing it, it's not gonna be.
Or maybe it will be.
Are you willing to risk it being poo?
Yeah.
I think that's where I disagree with you.
So Naruto is an anime.
It's not one I'm very familiar with.
I think this is very odd. Okay, honestly, this is something that I've had to sit and think about. You read so much manga.
Yes.
You know a lot about anime.
Yes.
And characters.
Yes.
And things.
Yes.
And stuff. And
not so much that one.
I mean, you read a lot of manga.
I do.
You read more manga than I know, like crazy anime lover people that like just nutso anime fans. You read more than like 20 of them combined. You read a lot. You went on vacation and all you did was read manga, didn't you?
I mean, I had to watch my son, but when I didn't have to watch my son,
you read manga.
Yeah.
That's all you do. Besides play Rocket League with me.
I watch anime too.
You do watch, but
I read more.
You read a lot of manga.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, where are you going with this? Where are you going with this?
Naruto.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Naruto, back when it first came out, was similar to Bleach. Not like I'm not gonna say similar.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You don't have to clarify.
In that it was very kind of like similar to Sword Art. I watched Sword Art. I actually liked the first half of the first season. It was really good. But it was very, and this is difficult for me to verbalize without sounding like too much of a pretentious douche. Okay. But it was.
I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
It was. I'm not a hipster. I'm not a hipster. I want to clarify that right now. I am not a hipster. But it just was too mainstream. And so
it got popular really fast.
And so because of that, I didn't jump on that bandwagon. I didn't read it. And now that it has like 500 chapters, I've looked at it and gone, I kind of want to, but then I don't, because a lot of what I read a lot of smaller names. Like I'm the kind of guy who opens up my app, and if I'm gonna look for something new to read, I'll flip through a tag I like, and I'll go back 3-4 pages, because the first 3 pages are gonna be all the big names. Attack on Titan. Sword Art Online. Naruto Shippuden. And I'm like, I'm good. But if I go back 2-3 pages, 3-4 pages, I'll find some that are high rated, but not popular. And they may be finished already, and they only have like 30 chapters, and I can get through it real quick and start a new one. So that's more of what I read. So that's why I never really got into Naruto. It felt too mainstream for me, and I've heard a lot of great things about it. I don't hate it because it's mainstream. I just didn't start reading it because it was mainstream. And now that it's got a metric boatload of chapters, I'm just
there's a lot.
I don't really want to start it.
There are a lot.
Yeah.
There are a lot. There's a lot of filler.
It's kind of like my wife watches Fairy Tail. I like Fairy Tail.
I love Fairy Tail.
I do. I'll watch it over her shoulder.
Never get it.
I'm not going to start it. I'm not going to start reading it. There's
because you'll never finish.
There's like 800 chapters, and that's just Fairy Tail. They started a new Fairy Tail too. It's called Fairy Tail 2014.
Yeah,
and that's got like 300 chapters already.
Yep.
I'm good.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
I'm never going to catch up to that.
That's a lot of stuff.
Part of the reason why I never got behind Naruto is I always look at it and I think to myself, if I start reading Naruto, I won't get to read anything else. I'll never catch up to Naruto.
Right.
But if I stick to these
Naruto's done though.
I know, but that's why it's because I look at the chapter count and I'm just like, that's a huge number. I'll never get to read anything else.
That's why I gave up on Bleach. There's no way.
Right. So I look at it and go, I can get through 12 different stories that all have, 50 chapters each for the same amount of time as Naruto. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Naruto is bad, but I'd rather get 12 different stories. Fall in love with the characters, go through the whole story 12 times. But that's why I never got behind it. So I'm not going to be a lot of input on your next villain.
Right. Well, it's for those who know Naruto, the anime and manga.
Wow, that was long-winded. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're fine. It's a good reason because it's just what it comes down to
I'm not a hipster.
What it comes down to the way that I can best the way I take what you say is it came out, it was really popular really fast. You're kind of like and then it got so popular that they came out with so much.
You know what really turned me off?
Now it's too late.
You know what really turned me off? On Facebook, when you would see these little events pop up and it's like a public event and it's, at noon on Saturday, everyone wear your Naruto headbands and we're going to Naruto run down the beach. And I'm just like,
yeah,
y'all are dumb.
That community it's got some weirdos in it.
That was another reason why I didn't read it.
Yeah, that community's got some nut jobs in it.
All the major ones.
But
do.
yeah, that's why, because it got really big, really fast, and then you just said, and then there was so much of it that you're like, it's too late now.
Yeah.
That happens. But the thing is you can never anticipate how big an anime is going to get until it's too late.
And the other thing is I'm not going to base my love or hate for an anime off of what the popular says. Don't get me wrong. I think Attack on Titan is absolute garbage, but I don't think Attack on Titan is garbage because it's mainstream. I don't look at it and go, oh, well, that's what's popular right now, so yeah, those kids are dumb. They don't know what real good stuff is. The good stuff is the old classic stuff. I don't think that. I gave Attack on Titan one episode. I give every anime a minimum of one episode. I didn't finish the episode because...
Wow, you didn't? I didn't know about this.
I went halfway through and I realized it's like what I'm watching is the creators of this anime taking every single cliche they can possibly take from every single other anime. They're like, ooh, this one looks good. 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 And they just throw it into a pot and just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. And what was left over that stuck to the wall was Attack on Titan. And it's just, I don't need to watch it. You can tell me the title of the episode, tell me what the main character is attempting to do during the episode, and I will tell you what happens. I already know. Everything is such a cliche that I already know what's happening. Yeah. So I never got behind, Attack on Titan. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to base my disdain for it simply because it's popular.
Right. Oh, no. Because there's some anime that's come out that is popular, that's great. Sword Art Online. It's great. I like Sword Art Online. It's got things in it that I don't like.
I like the first half of both seasons of Sword Art Online. The second half of both seasons, I am significantly less fond of.
Right. Well, okay.
There's his sister in the second half of the first season.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole second half of the second season where they're in like the elf game, but they're going to get Excalibur, but it's from the Norse gods and the Jotuns.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there was
a bad choice. let's say
Sword Art was very popular, and I really enjoyed the first half of the first season. It was really good. Like, that first arc was very good. I enjoyed it. It was very good. So I'll give you that. And it was super popular. I'm not going to base my disdain on anything because of mainstream, values.
let's say My Hero Academia.
That is huge. It is probably the biggest thing right now.
Yeah.
It is so
And
big.
it's great.
Honestly, I'll bet you that it's probably, you know what? I'll bet you every single room in America has a poster on the wall right now of My Hero Academia. Like, I'm willing to bet that. What?
Every house. I guarantee you.
There's one.
Well, yeah, it's great, and it's popular anime isn't bad. It's when an anime gets so popular that so much comes out that you can't keep up. That's what because then it's like I don't have time, like ever.
Yeah.
So I understand.
That was a really long segue.
In Naruto,
Okay.
there is a villain. His name is Orochimaru.
Okay.
This dude.
So before you tell
sucks.
me,
Okay.
I do want to point out that before the episode, Steve and I were doing, a little bit of research, a little bit of looking up some villains just to see like if there was anyone that we had not thought of, that we had missed, who would fit in this, like, the most evil sons of monkeys in the world.
monkeys.
Well, I can't say the other word. This is YouTube.
I don't know what the other word was going to be, but anyways, continue.
Best friends. Starts with a B. Anyway, so
Boruto. Go ahead.
Orochimaru was on almost every list.
Yeah, because he sucks.
So
He's a jerk. Because
just
he's a snake. He's purple. He sucks. And I hate him.
okay.
Orochimaru shows up out of nowhere. Naruto becomes a ninja after, after learning a forbidden jutsu, saving the scroll, beat the crap out of somebody. He becomes a ninja. Then he has the exam with Kakashi. Almost doesn't become a ninja. Does. Then they go on a mission, and then they go to the village hidden in the mist.
And so now he's training, and he's being a ninja.
No, but he goes on like a little rank mission that turns out to be like a high ranking mission, and they end up fighting this like Jonin super elite holy crap ninja named Zabuza, and it's amazing. Anyways, they come back. Now they have to take an exam for the next level.
Sure.
Which is the Chunin exam, I believe.
Yeah.
So Genin Chunin.
You got to graduate. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you got to graduate and
Sure.
then you become Chunin, and then you become Jonin.
Okay.
Jonin is the highest, or for a ninja.
Without
joining like the Anabu Black Ops.
Yeah.
But anyways, whatever. So during the exam, there's some things that happen at to fight each other and all this stuff, and then they go to a forest where it's like it's a mission where each team has certain scrolls. You have to get these scrolls and go to the center point of the forest. The only way you can pass is if you have one of each scroll. But you don't get one of each scroll. You have to find other members and fight them and take their scrolls using like your ninja abilities and stuff. It's like a big.
So it's capture the flag meets steal the bacon. Meets deathmatch.
I give you and Stuart a scroll. You go off in the forest. Okay, and now you guys are ninjas and everything. You're allowed to use all of your abilities, everything.
Sure.
Me and Joey have another scroll. Now, the only way you can get the scroll is if you take it from us, of course. Now, you can kill us.
I need one of yours and Joey's. Stuart needs one of yours and Joey's. You and Joey each need one of ours.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to either take it from us when we're sleeping or whatever, or you have to kill us for it.
Cool.
During that exam, this dude named Orochimaru shows up and just ruins everything. And changes the entire story narrative. This dude can bring people back from the dead. Like, he can disguise himself so well. Like, no, you would never know. Like, that the dude you were talking to was Orochimaru. He's just that good. He's practically freaking immortal, and that's what he wants is immortality.
Standard issue villain. Okay.
He almost legitimately achieves it. Like,
wow.
And he's there like the entire time. Here's what's really annoying, though. The reason why he's on this list is because it's not a big spoiler or anything, but like Sasuke joins Orochimaru and they leave together, and then you just don't see them for like until Shippuden. Now the Chunin exam is technically, if you were to put it in anime like TV series, season 3.
Okay.
There's like 25 seasons of normal Naruto, and then Shippuden comes out. So for that entire time, you don't even see Orochimaru or Sasuke.
They've just been doing their thing.
They pop up like like one episode, and then like 500 episodes later, one more time, and then
just to remind you they're still around.
Yeah, and then Shippuden happens, and then you see him again. And by that time, everyone's an adult. Everyone's like, more. They're all Jonins now and everything. And
here comes Orochimaru to mess everybody up.
And Sasuke's badass, and he's just. And it's because of Orochimaru. And then Orochimaru is just doing Orochimaru things. Like, it's. And he's like unstoppable. He's basically unstoppable. Everyone's like, Orochimaru, oh my god. Like, everyone's afraid of him. Everyone's like, oh my god, Orochimaru. Like, the whole time. And it's because he's legitimately terrifying. He has an all-star, like, squad with him. Like, good luck. Like, every single person that is, like, with him is a raid boss. He's a raid boss himself. They're a raid boss. Like, all of them are skilled and very, very... and have no regard for your safety or no mercy, nothing. They're just like, that sucks for you. Have a good day. And Orochimaru's like, good job. He's like, thanks. And then they go and they do things. Like, Orochimaru is a jerk. He's a jerk.
I love how mad you are about Orochimaru. You can't even truly verbalize it. You're like, he just shows up, he does Orochimaru things. He just there's
he turns into a
and then he's just good job, and then off he goes, and I'm so mad that he does things.
He just does things.
I'm so mad that he does things.
Okay, here's why I'm mad. It's because he does Orochimaru things, but he does them so well that they work. Everything he does works out. It's annoying. He went in going, oh, I want Sasuke. And I was like, you'll never get Sasuke. And he's like, I got Sasuke. And then they left. He won. And it was easy. Like, he didn't even try. He was just like, I can show you things that you'd never understand. And Sasuke was like, okay. And then they left. It was that easy. Like, it's annoying. It's so stupid. So anyways,
okay, so while that was incredibly eloquent, I do want to point out that I truly understand what you're saying. I get how frustrated it is to see a villain constantly win. Like, yes, there needs to be a way. Villains need to win because otherwise you don't feel that hatred for them. They need to be able to, and maybe they don't win, but they do bad things and get away with it.
Yeah.
And that's basically their version of winning. And that needs to happen a few times as the hero tries to beat them and just comes up short, loses the fight, or, would win, but they just slipped away at the last second, right through their fingers. That's good. That's build up. That gives you the tension you need, that you as the viewer or reader want to see that villain go down. But yes. I understand where you're coming from with the frustration where it's supposed to happen 1 or 2 times, maybe 3 if he's a good recurring villain. But eventually he gets taken down. Not this, okay, he's...
In a minute now.
He won again. He won again. He won again, he's gonna leave. Yep, he's gone for like 20 years. Great.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back. He's back. Okay, we got a chance. He won. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Somebody beat him.
He never loses.
Let me get a new villain. Oh, we did get a new villain. We got a more pressing villain to fight right now. But does that mean?
Oh, well, here's.
Oh, so because this guy's more pressing, he's gonna get away again.
Oh, well, here's the other thing too. Normally, like, there's a villain. Like, if there's a villain, there's usually like some special thing you gotta do to kill him. You know, whatever. Like in Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Like when you gotta break the Philosopher's Stone thingy to kill him. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. No, Orochimaru was like an acid trip. Like you had to go into this thing, into this realm, do this thing in order to find a certain like Horcrux thing that connects to his soul to a thing that he really needed. But if you fail, that he absorbs you, and then you lose, and then he becomes almighty powerful, immortal. It's just. It wasn't simple like, hey, stab that dude in the face. Okay, you're dead. Nope. Slither. Oh no, it wasn't real. No.
Well, okay.
It sucks. Like Orochimaru is like I said this earlier. If I had it my way, Orochimaru would be number one villain of all time in anime.
You did mention that offset.
He is that annoying and that good because it's like. It's not like where they gave a villain like a way. It's like, oh well, he did just win because he's a villain. Like no, the reason why he wins is because he's good. Yeah. He's a good villain. We need to move away from Naruto.
The other thing that I'll throw on the tail end of this is, and it's always frustrating to see a villain who's been winning and they're about to lose, and then enter.
And then they win.
Well, no, enter like a bigger threat. Oh crud, this giant monster is going to wreck everything. We do need to take this giant monster down. The giant monster is not as powerful as Orochimaru, but if we don't stop the monster now, he's a bigger threat than Orochimaru.
Yeah.
So we have to stop the monster, and off he goes. He gets away.
Yep.
And it's like, you kidding me? They were good.
Yeah, that happens.
So yeah, and that's pretty common with a lot of anime. You see a villain that consistently get away because of a distraction. It's like,
yeah.
Come on. Can we please?
Come on.
Can we please just move on from this terrible, terrible person?
Yeah.
Who else you got?
But I also like the fact that they kept him because there's other enemies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there was always just Orochimaru was just the number one.
Well, and that's always.
And I like the fact that they did.
That's always a good thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I loved watching Inuyasha. Mm-hmm. I really did. I know it's garbage, but I loved watching it.
It's not garbage.
It was pretty bad.
But it's not good.
It was pretty bad. But anyway, so I'm watching it, and it's like, oh, look, they've got Naraku. And they do a good job with Naraku in terms of screen time and like, he's the kind of bad guy who you never really fight. And the few times you do fight, he just slaps the crap out. He just punch you to the floor and says, sit down and try again when you're better. Yeah. You are not worth my time right now. And he sends his lackeys, and off he goes. Yeah. And you constantly want to see him defeated because he's talking so big. He's always talking so big, and he never gets taken down a peg. So they did a good job with him there. But later on, when Inuyasha got, stupidly powerful, Naraku never fought him because you know that fight would be pretty short-lived.
Yeah.
So Naraku's always like, here, face my henchman, bye. Or I'm going to put you in a situation where, now you can't do anything because of this. Ha, bye, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And it got old. It got super old.
It did.
So, but I understand why they do that. They put they let the villain get away to create that tension.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I want to see him taken out.
Yeah.
Just
sometime today, please.
Just off him already.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish they would have done that. Like, there was a lot of opportunities, but then eventually things happen, and it's all for good reason. But
yeah.
Anyways, segueing off of Naruto. Oh, geez. We'll go to the other big one, Bleach.
Which I also did not get heavily behind for the same reasons.
Aizen shows up on a lot of lists.
Yes, he does.
Aizen falls in the same category as Orochimaru.
Okay. I have not read any Bleach. I have watched a bit, especially the earlier stuff, over my wife's shoulder. So from like season 1, when all of the captains and their lieutenants are like running around in the spirit
Soul
world.
Society?
Yeah, Soul Society. And everything's kind of like going to chaos because like one captain has turned on everyone and started, murking.
That is season 2.
Okay, whatever. Is that Aizen?
That's Aizen.
Okay. Then yes, I understand why you hate him.
Yeah.
Because he gets people to like believe him. They're like, you have a dead body behind you, killed by the only thing that your magic. Your magic is everyone's magic is specific to themselves.
Yeah.
It's obviously killed by your magic. You somehow talked. Yeah, okay, whatever. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll play along. Let's see what happens.
Well, he even Aizen. Oh God. So there's a character. The more I think about it, the more angry I get.
This is a great episode. We just get mad at this.
There is a character. I'm trying to look up her name because I'm.
Okay.
Momo. So Momo.
Is that the blonde chick with the purple?
No.
Okay.
No. So the reason why Aizen's so annoying is because Aizen is like the ultimate deceiver.
Yeah.
Like he for years
he played a long con.
Tricked the entire Soul Society into believing that he's this very level-headed, humble, Soul Reaper guy, captain. Everybody, for a long time.
Mm-hmm. He played a long con.
Just ruins everything.
And then finally the con is over and he's reached the point where he's like, well, this is where I flip the switch.
Yeah. So
gets a lot of people in trouble that shouldn't have been in trouble.
He even faked his own death in the anime. Had himself stabbed, hung, buffed Soul Society, the whole thing. Momo goes like, oh my God. And then he kills her. Dude. Like, that was my first thing. I was like, the
one person who has your back no matter what, even knowing how much of a douche you are, and you murk her?
Yeah. Like,
wow, you really are. Well done, sir.
She just believed in him so much and all this stuff, and then
which just makes it easier.
Stabs her through the chest.
Just makes it easier.
Yep. And no remorse name was he's nuts. First off, oh my God, Aizen. Like, I know you don't know a lot.
We should probably only do one more after this because we're already losing it.
Yeah. So Aizen can
I'm fine.
Manipulate spirit energy, and he can.
I remember that he made himself appear weaker than he actually was.
Yeah, he understands. Like he's incredibly intelligent.
Oh, the best villains always
he
are.
He understands like all history, like society history, like all this stuff, and he understands the art of battle. Mm-hmm. On top of that,
and he also understands his enemies, the good guys, so he knows what actions they're going to take.
Yeah. On top of that, he has the most annoying trait in an anime that an anime villain has, which is the ability to transform and become more powerful and gain new abilities. And his other abilities that he had are way more OP now.
I disagree. That is the second most annoying anime trait of a villain. The most annoying anime trait of a villain is monologuing.
All anime villains monologue.
No, but okay, excessive monologuing is number one.
Aizen does that a lot, because he's so intelligent. I know. He's gonna.
Oh, let me tell you why I'm right.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it because you're trapped. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. And he just.
But before I kill you, Mr. Bond.
Yeah. And the other thing too that he can do is really annoying is he can manipulate it. Like he can completely take control of like all of 5 senses and use them against you. Like, it's stupid.
Enjoy that smell. Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh no. Why would you do this to me?
Yeah. It's messed up. So.
Why? Let me tell you why.
No. No. So yeah, he's annoying.
Flashback episode. No!
And he's there forever in the anime too.
Yeah.
Because he just disappears like they do, and then everyone's trying to...
Surprise, I'm not really dead.
And then everyone's trying to,
Oh, by the way, while I was
together
gone,
and
I got
train.
training, so I am as powerful, comparatively speaking, to you guys when I left. And when I show up, you're already dealing with a problem or have just dealt with, and you're all weak and tired. So, hi.
Yeah, exactly. So he's annoying.
Yeah. The best ones are.
And then just for me, the villain just... It's funny because a lot of people...
I mean, you've been doing that for the past 2, but go ahead, lay it on me.
But it's the one... Okay, it's a good villain, though, because it's a villain that succeeded in his task.
The bad guy won?
Bad guy won.
Interesting. That doesn't happen very often.
He's so nuts. But it's Legato Blue Summers from Trigun. He so out of what?
I feel like there's a bit of bias there.
Why?
You love Trigun.
I love Trigun.
However, I'm with you. He did succeed, and that's not common for a villain.
Because there's a lot of anime where, in mangas where, the villain does a bunch of bad stuff, and he kills a whole slew of people and all this stuff, does all this stuff, and then he dies, but the main character's like, yahoo!
Yeah.
Vash's whole purpose, his whole thing that he vowed not to do is he would never take a life. Never do it. Little fuzzy on the, kneecap thing, He would take some kneecaps out.
It's not a life.
Beat the crap out of you, looking like an idiot doing it, but very precise. He was amazing. He's an amazing fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Very unorthodox. It works for him.
It was the Batman technique.
Yeah.
I won't ever kill anyone. But that doesn't mean you need both of your arms when I turn you in.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you coming peacefully or not? It's like, yeah, you know what? I like my arms. You can turn me in.
Yeah. And he, he succeeded in that. He never killed anybody. And even when he was on the sand steamer and he shot those dudes, he stopped and helped them because they were going to die.
Yeah.
He didn't have to.
So that he would not take a life.
Yeah. And the kid didn't understand, but, everyone else did. Legato Blue Summer shows up out of nowhere. He literally comes into town, just waltzes into town.
What's up, dudes?
And sits down at that bench, and Vash has that moment where he's like, something is
wrong.
Something's very, very wrong happening right now while he's playing ball with the kids.
Yeah.
And then he starts talking to Vash telepathically, and you're just like, what is this dude? What is this dude? And then he just toys with him for so long, and then does exactly. He didn't even struggle the entire time that he was going up against Vash. He never struggled. It was just calculated. The whole thing was calculated. I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. I'm going to get Vash that he didn't want to kill. Well, guess what? He's going to kill somebody. Me. Watch. And then he does it.
Yeah.
He controls an entire town. He's got to kill the insurance ladies.
Uh-huh.
And then oh God. So he had to make a choice. Kill me or everyone dies. And he couldn't stop it. There was nothing that Legato's like, well, I can't stop it even. The only way you can do it is if you kill me. And he dusted Legato in one of the most gnarly scenes in anime history. Dude just takes a bullet to the head and just
domed.
Douche. Very, very powerful scene. So he dies. The villain dies, but he wins. He wins. He did exactly what he set out to do, and it messed Vash up so much.
Yeah.
God, yeah, dude, I messed him up bad, really bad.
And that's that. I'm gonna bring it back circle to the top of our first subject. When you have lived your entire life with one worldview, and it is turned on its head in one moment, it breaks you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
when you have lived your entire life with one worldview of, I will never take a life. I'll hurt people, but I won't kill, regardless of what anyone says about me. And then you are forced to, because in your mind, since he's the good guy, if you don't dust Legato, then you dusted the town.
Yeah.
So you have to make a choice. One or the.
Yeah.
But no matter what, you're making the choice. You're killing someone.
Yeah. Any way you slice it from this is just
so your worldview
and it'll
just
be your fault.
snapped.
Yeah. And
You
it'll
never
be
took
your
a life?
fault.
Not anymore.
Yeah. And that just messed him up. And yeah. And it's just like, it's such a small thing. It's like, you know, he killed the dude. He said he wouldn't. He broke his
Wasn't
vow.
that small? About 45 millimeters, yeah?
But it's like he just made a vow not to kill anybody for Rem, and you know.
Yeah.
And then he didn't fulfill that, you know, and he took out Legato, and he won, and he was very upset about it. It was kind of like you wanted Vash to be able to continue that.
Yeah.
And Legato was just too good. He was too. It's one of those things. That's literally what it was. Like he was too good. He was too good.
And that's the same thing as that's a shorter version of the villains that you were mentioning. The ones who are always 2 steps ahead of you. The ones who plan it out. Aizen, he's been planning this for years. It's a long con. He knows every step that everyone's going to take. He's going to do this, and because he does that, he's going to do 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 that, which will let me do this, and then he's going to do that, he's going to do that, I'll do this. He already knew. So Legato's already got it planned. There's nothing you can do, because if you know your enemy, I'm going to do this, he's going to do that. I'm going to do this, he's going to do that. I can work around him.
Yep, and it win.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things, you know, it's like that not many villains are willing to not be
Give
around
everything for their cause.
in order to really crush their opponent.
Okay, here's
and Legato did that. He's like, I don't have to be around in order to
let me
his whole world.
let me give you something here. Remember Dark Knight?
Yeah.
With
Dark Knight.
With the Joker?
Yeah.
Who is some men just want to watch the world burn, and he does a phenomenal job of planning around everything and just being the ultimate terrorist. Was he on those boats? Did he really put himself in harm's way?
Yeah.
But Legato?
Yeah.
He literally is the bait. Yeah. You either blow up the town or you shoot me. What's it going to be, boy?
Yep.
Take the shot. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
He didn't even care that he was going to die. It's so nuts.
Because he knew he won.
Yeah.
If his world goes to black because he got domed, he wins because Vash took a life. And if his world doesn't go to black because he didn't get domed, he knows he wins because Vash took those lives, because he knows that's Vash's mindset. Mm-hmm. So he already knows. Doesn't matter what Vash chooses. He figures Vash is going to dust him because Vash is the good guy. But even if he doesn't, I win.
Yep.
I've already won. As soon as it gets to the point where Vash has to make that choice, I win.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what Vash made the choice of. That's it. This turn, I win.
He emotionally damaged him.
Beyond repair.
You don't see that in animes very often. Ever, really. You always see, they destroyed a character who had an attachment to a character, who had an attachment to a character, and it brought everyone to go, no.
They try.
But it's like, it's never like that. That's why I feel that is like such.
I'm gonna slightly disagree with you. They try, but they're not willing to go the distance. So take for example Sword Art.
A lot of animes are dependent on their.
Well, take for example Sword Art.
Okay.
At the end of the first arc, she jumps in front of him, takes the hit, dies.
Yeah.
She's dead. As far as you're concerned in the game, she's dead.
Yeah.
Your health bar hit 0, the thing zaps you, you're gone.
Yeah.
He still fights for like a good 15, 30 seconds before he finally wins.
Oh, yeah.
Well, dies and then comes back and wins. But she's gone.
Yeah.
Well, then the game gets deleted and the guy likes them, so he says, you guys are good, and they get sent off in their merry way back to the world, and they're not really dead.
Yeah.
So the game's not really willing to go all the way. But having the one person he loves murdered in front of his face, that breaks somebody.
Yeah.
But he gets her back.
Yeah.
So they're not willing to go all the way anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas with Vash, they
went all the
they
way.
broke him.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
I'm for that. More animes need to do that.
If it's done right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm cool with that.
That's so that would be the villains.
Those are some good ones. I have a couple honorable mentions just to bring up real quick here. I know a lot of people will probably argue, okay, if anyone's going to hop on Twitter and start blasting us for not bringing this person up, hold up. We're going to bring him up, and we're going to tell you why we didn't put him in our conversation right now.
I already know who it is. Shou Tucker.
It is Shou Tucker.
Yeah. He's not a villain.
He is a villain.
He's villainous.
He is absolutely a villain. However, because he's not and you were mentioning this offset, he's not the kind of guy that you see over the course of an entire series or an arc. He's literally there for a couple chapters. Our heroes stop in town, and in this town, there just happens to be a bad guy in the town. It happens to be him. 2 episodes later, they have solved the problem, and off they go to the next town. He's not a main villain. He is a villain because he is a person, and he is super villainous. He is a horrible, horrible human being.
Yeah, what he did was not good, no good, and very sad.
He is a sociopath.
I hate that guy.
An absolute sociopath. And that's
everybody hates that character.
And that's another one of those things.
But he's not like a main character.
But that's okay. That's one of the slightly older ones, almost from the same era, where they're willing to go all the way.
Yeah.
Where they're willing to do some really messed up things to the characters, just to
Major Hughes. Daddy's got to go to work. Ah! Why do you do? I didn't want to cry today when I saw that. I was like,
yeah.
Have you ever seen? I don't know the voice actor of Major Hughes. I can't remember his name right now, but he said that he watched the dub of Major Hughes' death.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, he was watching it happen. I think he was in like a room or something like that with some of the directors, and they're like, "Who's your favorite character?" He's like, "Oh, Major Hughes, man, he's my favorite." And he was like, "Cool, man, keep watching." And he's like, "Why'd you say it like that?" And then he goes and I'm watching it, and then he gets shot, and I'm like, "Oh, that sucks." And then he's like, I expected the next scene, he's in the hospital, whatever. And then they're carrying the casket. He's like, what's happening? What's in the box? What's in the box? And then he starts putting him in the ground. He was like, what's going on? And then the daughter starts crying, and he's like, no, don't cry. Don't cry. And then that's when he found out that his character dies. And he's playing, and he was like, "Mom, they killed him." He's like, "I've never been at my mom's house." It's like, they killed him. So funny. But they're not willing to go there anymore.
Yeah, they don't do it. But Shou Tucker, they went all the way with him. He is a massive sociopath, and the only reason we didn't mention him was because he was too minor. He wasn't a major character. If that was the guy who was hounding them the whole series, I'd put him number 1. I think he'd beat Orochimaru. He's a sociopath, absolute nut job, and he's the worst kind of crazy, because it's not like, he's crazy because he just doesn't know he's crazy. He's crazy because he knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's not like Yuyu Hakusho.
Travis Willingham, the guy that played.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The guy that played Mustang.
Yeah,
is the one.
It's not like Yuyu Hakusho where snap, now we've got a villain who's crazy, but he's crazy because he doesn't know he's crazy. He doesn't he knows what he's doing, but he doesn't understand what he's doing is wrong because he's cracked.
Yeah,
he knows exactly what he's doing.
Dumpty.
He knows exactly what he's doing. Shou Tucker is evil.
Very, very evil.
And I'm going to bring up one more, just real quick, honorable mention. You were mentioning Orochimaru because he's a snake. Just planning everything out. Literal snake. Just absolute, just, God, every time you think they have him cornered, he just gets away somehow by some way. He's hiding in plain sight, hiding in the shadows. Doesn't matter. He's hidden. You never know it. He's always getting away with everything, and he's just such a pain in the ass. So I like watching Soul Eater. Medusa.
Yeah.
Literal snake, hiding in plain sight, doing horrible things, always getting away by some tiny little sliver. Just got away.
Yep.
I hated her.
Without that.
I hated her. Like, they made her out to be the secondary villain behind, well, of the witches anyway, behind Arachne. Arachne was useless. She's like, oh, I've got my army. Oh, I've got the Keisha now. Oh, I love you. I'm dead. That was it. That was all she did. That's all she did. Medusa was like, okay, I've got this child. I'm going to fuse him with the sword, and we are going to do some warped things to his brain and mess him up so he will be my servant. Let's also get a job at the school and start messing all the kids up with black blood. Let's take some pills. Yes. Oh, God, she was evil.
Yeah.
Putting people in situations where, and she was also very good at putting people in situations where, like Legato, you make a choice. Take your pick. You kill me, you die.
Yep.
We both die, or we both walk away. Your call. Take your pick.
Yeah. And another honorable mention.
She was, I did not like her. I wanted to see her go down.
Another honorable mention is Father.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to see him go down too.
Yeah.
He needed to go.
There's no explanation for that. Just
okay, and I've
bag.
got one more honorable mention.
Oh.
I don't like this particular part of the anime. I liked the first arc. I did not like the second arc. But in Sword Art Online, the second arc when they're in Elfland.
You're not talking about Death Gun, are you?
No, the second arc of the first season.
Oh, you're not talking about...
So they got out of Aincrad, and they're in the Elfland. Sugo.
Oh, yeah.
The guy who's like in charge, and he's the one that's like gonna be betrothed, or at least just trying to be betrothed.
Yeah.
And he's like in the hospital room sniffing her. I'm like, you are a creepy dude and you need to stop. And he doesn't. And he gets away with everything up until the last end. I'm like, just like, someone needs to take him.
And he does it knowing who Kirito is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
in that hospital room, he knows exactly who that kid is.
Like, dude, you are weird.
He is
You are weird.
Not just weird.
Also, she's like 12.
You're like...
or something. I don't even know how old she was.
I think she was 17 and he was 16. The two kids. Asuna was 17 and he was 16, Kirito. But the other guy's like...
the other guy.
He's like 28 or some nonsense.
Weird. It's weird.
I mean...
Like, you're...
Okay.
That's a top.
Okay. Don't get me wrong.
Like,
10 years is 10 years. Age is just a number. But to be fair, while age is just a number, she's 17.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's a little weird.
Doesn't matter if she's unconscious.
Although...
It's weird.
Also, to be fair, this is Japan. Their age of consent is lower.
True.
But I'm gonna
Weird.
I'm gonna go back to she's in a coma, dude. That's weird. Yeah. That is super weird. And that's
and you're gonna have a wedding while she's in her coma?
So
weirdo.
Oh, I know.
Weird. And her dad's a jerk too.
Oh, I know. But that's what I'm like. By the end, when he's got her like chained up and he's stuck on the ground and they're doing some like, hey, guess what? You get to watch kind of stuff. I was like, oh, you better stop him. You better stop. I know that some of the old anime go all the way and they do some messed up things, and I'm cool with that. I don't want this one. This is not one I want. Do not go all the way here.
Yep.
Do not let him win this one. Do not let him win this one.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah. No bueno.
No.
So I know we were gonna go into anime main characters that we like, but I think we'll save that for another episode.
Sure.
And this time we'll just do villains.
Okay. We only did a couple villains too. We could go on for villains.
There's so many villains.
Tune in next episode for when we talk about even more villains and get Steve even more. No, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna.
It might happen. Because there's main characters that frustrate me.
There's a lot of main
just
characters
like,
that frustrate me
dude.
because they're stupid
Yeah.
and they make stupid choices.
But they're stupid broken OP. It frustrates me.
Yeah, that too.
So next week, or the next 5 months from now, we'll talk about.
I'm not gonna lie. If it's
Main
actually
characters.
5 months, I'm gonna laugh so
It's not gonna
hard.
be 5 months.
Dang it.
Because this, and actually, you know what's funny? This is our new set, and this is the first thing we shot on it.
That's true. We didn't even shoot the RLG.
No, that's gonna be next Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned to that.
Hey, definitely stay tuned to that. We have a special guest.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be great. Stay tuned to that. So we should probably get out of here.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It is pretty warm.
It's hot.
Well, that's just me.
Oh, fair enough.
Hey.
So, well, you're doing the. You're doing.
Oh,
the
I'm doing the sign out too. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna take off after talking about all those horrible people that don't deserve to live, and yet some of them do
In
get
artistic
away.
Digital form, they don't deserve.
They don't deserve to live. Period. They don't just they don't deserve to exist.
But I applaud the creators.
That's very
Well
true.
done.
When you can create a villain so powerful that God, I want to see him lose so bad, then you've done your job. You've created a good villain.
Yeah.
When you create a joke of a villain, okay, real quick before we sign off, I'm going to throw out here. If we were talking about favorite villains, I would have a different number one. But we're talking about best villains. See, if you had said favorite villains, my number one would be Jesse and James from Pokemon because they're great. They are so awesome. As villains, though, they're a joke. They're an absolute joke.
Yeah.
They are not villains. So
They try to be villains. But they are not villains.
no. So
Mouth puns
when
in the
you
back.
as a creator can create a villain so good that I can't verbalize. There are not enough words or the correct words in the English language for me to express my fury at how badly I want to see that villain just taken out by the good guy. You've done a good job.
Yeah.
That's
Bravo.
a good villain.
Bravo.
So next time we'll talk about heroes and how a creator can create someone so awesome that I don't have the words or the English language doesn't have the words for me to eloquently express how cool they are, how amazingly powerful they are, how much of a good guy they are.
Or girl.
Fair. This is true. Although
Sailor Moon is great.
I am going to say that generally speaking in most anime and manga cultures, it tends to be very
guy.
chauvinistic.
Fair enough.
Yeah. The powerful one, anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that was a bit of a downer to end on. But yeah, we'll talk about heroes and the awesome power that they have and the good that they stand for, and basically everything that's the exact opposite of what we did this time. So tune in the next 5 months.
Or next 2 weeks.
Whatever.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.